Trying to understand is like straining through muddy water. Have the patience to wait, be still, and allow the mud to settle.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to talk about not understanding and not trying to understand why things happen. When you are in the process of manifesting something, I know it's so easy to get caught up in looking for results, looking for changes, trying to see if what you are affirming for is actually happening in the 3D world, even though we know that we are not supposed to look to the 3D world for changes. We're supposed to go internally for that, right? And check internally, are we affirming for the thing we want? Okay, great, that's all we need to do. Oftentimes we can get caught up in this outer world, and when things are not going in the direction that we assume they need to go, we get so frustrated, or we get upset with ourselves, or we feel like, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe I should switch up how I'm affirming, or I should let go, or I should do this or that. We always are trying to look for cause and effect, and as I've talked about in other videos, the higher self, the universe, does not work in cause and effect. It does not work in the same way as the human mind, and also it has this perspective that is so much broader than our perspective, because our higher self knows everything. It knows everything and knows how everything will happen, why it happens, all this stuff. And the universe is so intricate in the way that one thing will lead to another, kind of like domino effect or the butterfly effect. Like one small thing can lead to something huge. And that's why when it comes to trying to figure out your life and trying to figure out if you're going in the right direction or doing the right thing is really just a waste of time. I honestly don't recommend ever trying to understand if you're saying things right or doing things right, because just know, if you believe you are, then you are. I've said this before. If you assume that what you are doing is enough or that it's working, then it is, because it's just your assumption. It's just your belief. If you start to believe that everything happening in your life is for a reason, no matter what, and it's to get you to where you want to go, as in you don't forget about what you've intended, but you just sort of go with the flow after you set your intention. You know that no matter what, somehow you're going to end up there, and you assume everything happening is leading you there, no matter what it is, then you will get there. Going back to also trying to figure things out though, and getting frustrated when you don't see the results you're expecting, because in our minds, we're sort of planning out how we're going to get there. Not always on purpose, but we tend to do this. We'll be like, well, technically, like, this would probably have to happen. Like, he would have to text me, and then maybe we'd hang out a few times, and then maybe we'd do this or that. Or you'd be like, if I'm going to make this amount of money, it's going to have to probably come in this way through this part of my business or something. It's like we always have this idea of how things are supposed to happen, but the universe has a much broader perspective. And the way that your desire is going to happen is not always going to be the way that you expected. The way it comes about could be totally different than the way you expect it to happen. So what you need to do is be open to all possibilities, because the fastest way to bring in your desire too is to just be open to it coming about in different ways and not having such a rigid way for how it has to happen. Because when we do this, when we feel like we know what's supposed to happen, then we start resisting anything that doesn't go in the way that we expect things should be going. So, for example, today, when I was making videos for this channel, I kept trying to make videos on all different topics, and I kept messing up, or I just couldn't get the words out, or I just didn't like what it sounded like. So I just kept stopping the video and being like, okay, maybe, I don't know. I was like, I'm assuming that I should be able to make a video on this topic today, but it just wasn't happening. So I just had to learn that that's okay and realize that I'm expecting that me making videos about this particular topic is going to do well on YouTube, and that's going to be what everyone needs to hear. But maybe this video was the one that's going to be better for everyone. This is me talking about my exact issue that I just faced today, which was not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing, or not feeling like things are not going the way I want them to go. I was getting frustrated because I'm like, man, why can't I just make a video on this topic? Like, I need to post about this topic today. Like, people asked about it. I want to talk about it. But life is never going to go exactly how you plan. And that's when you have to just trust that the way the universe guides you is going to be a better path than you assume for yourself. Because if you think about it, like I've said this in another video, the universe is like the captain of your ship, and they know the ocean to a T. They know exactly everything about it. They know the depth of this and that, and they are pro captain. They've been doing this for years. And then there's you, who like knows absolutely nothing about the ship. You don't know anything about the ocean. Again, please, if you do know something about a boat, just take the reference, just listen to it. But there's you, who doesn't know anything, who doesn't know where you're going. You don't know anything about the ocean or how to steer a ship, but then you're going up and trying to steer the boat and trying to be like, no, actually it's this way we're supposed to go. And the universe is like, okay, as you like go and steer yourself into some rocks that you didn't see because you didn't know that they were there, right? Like, the universe knows things that you don't. So even when things look negative, even when they look like they're going the opposite of the way you're expecting, usually there's some reason it's taking you that way. And sometimes it might be to teach you something that you need to know, or it could be that, again, you don't see something coming that it does, so it's trying to help you to avoid that thing. And it will not always make sense to you. I'm telling you, it will not always make sense. Sometimes you'll be like, okay, well, like, this terrible thing happened in my life. Why would this happen? It literally does nothing for my desire, whatever. Somehow it does relate. Somehow the universe knows, and it's taking you through this route for a reason. So just what you have to do in your life is not try to figure out why something's happening. Like today or any day, if you don't see the exact results that you're looking for immediately, or you're seeing the opposite, trust in that. As long as you trust that you're still being led in the right direction no matter what, then you're going the right way. You just have to know that. You have to trust your captain here. You have to trust them. That's really what it is putting trust in your higher self and knowing that they would not steer you wrong because they are you. They don't want to mess up because they're you. They're going to take you in the best route possible to your desire, but it's not always going to be what you expect. And that's why it's so important to let up on your rigid sort of view of how things have to go. And that includes expecting instantly something to happen or expecting this specific result today. You know, it could happen in ways that you don't even know of yet. You can't even think of yet. But it will do that for you. And the only time that you will understand is when you've gotten there. When you have that perspective and you can like look back on it, then everything makes sense. And you'll notice that in your life in general, everything always makes sense once you've passed it in life. Like later on in life, you'll look back and be like, well, this kind of happened for a reason. I get it now. In the moment, though, you're not going to understand. And the more you try to figure out life and you try to make everything perfect and make every day perfect and feel like you're a failure anytime you're not seeing your exact result, then you're just going to drive yourself insane because you can't figure out the universe. There's no way to figure it out because honestly, the universe doesn't really make a lot of sense. I forget who it was that talked about this, like Alan Watts. Like the universe really is so random sometimes, and it's like a playground, like the name of my channel, because if you think about all the strange things that go on in the world and all the weird phenomenon in nature and animals and why certain animals are the way they are or look the way they do, like the universe is so weird. And if you try to make sense of it, it just doesn't happen. So that's why in other videos I mentioned this too. Alan Watts says this, to look at the universe from the perspective of a child. Just be imaginative, know where you want to go, and just assume always you're going where you want to go. Even if you don't see it, you're just imagining. You're like, you know, I am the princess of this tower today. I just decided I am. And yeah, you are. It's just about having fun with life too, not taking it too seriously each moment. Stop getting so stressed out about life and like all the little things that happen, because we're meant to enjoy life a lot more. We're not meant to get so caught up in it. Like, this isn't even really who you are. You're really just living in this game that you've created for yourself. As I've said in other videos, this is like us living as a character, and we're just experiencing ourselves. So to get so serious and caught up in life is just, it's kind of funny. And the way that I like to see it is sort of like, after your life is done, like you're looking back on your life now as this everything, this higher perspective that can see everything. Certain moments you probably laugh at yourself. You'd be like, wow, I got so angry in that moment because my computer was saying a different number than I wanted it to say. Like, that's so funny because I was everything. I literally had all the money in the entire world and I was freaking out over $1,000 or something, right? So I don't know. I like to think of it from this higher perspective. We just get so caught up in these tiny moments, and that's also like those videos where they zoom out, you know, on the whole planet and you see Earth, and then you realize that your problems are not nearly as big as you think they are, right? So just, I don't know, I guess this video is just to say, like, take life as it comes, be easier on yourself, and also just relax knowing that life is going to get you where you need to go, but you don't have to understand how. Like, in this moment, if you don't know why something's happening, or you aren't sure if you're going in the right direction, just assume you are and just go with the flow. I have just learned to look at negative situations. I react maybe for a second and I'm like, you know what? This happened. It is what it is. I feel like it is what it is a very common saying, and it's actually a good saying because you can't affirm everything away. Everything has a reason for happening, and you just have to go with it. You just have to trust it. The life is not meant to be perfect, and that is the exciting part about it. If everything was perfect and you got exactly where you needed to go all the time, then there'd be no excitement in it either. So anyways, I don't really know where I'm going with this video, but hopefully it's helpful to you guys. Like I said, this was the topic I felt I could talk about today. The other topics, I don't know what happened. I just couldn't record videos on them, so maybe I was meant to post this today. I'm just going with the flow of the universe and what I feel is right for today. I'm just working with it. And I think that's what you should do too. If your day is going not the way expected right now, or if your desire, you're not seeing any results right now, just go with the flow. Trust that you're going in the right direction, and don't try and understand it. Don't try to figure it out. Just go with it and keep the knowing inside that you're going in the right direction. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. As always, if you're looking for coaching, it's in the description box below. Email me about that. I am going to get back to some of the people I still have to get back to this week. If I haven't got back to you, I promise I am on that soon. I've already recorded some answers for some of the emails. I just haven't got them uploaded yet. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your patience, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, bye.